Today on Top NBA, we're looking at 7 of the best what are they doing moments in NBA history. Here we go. First up at number 7, J.R. Smith. The most obvious moment on this list happened 3 years ago, when J.R. Smith messed up in a crunch time opportunity during the 2018 NBA Finals Game 1, which ended up costing the Cleveland Cavaliers the game and resulted in the birth of countless LeBron James and J.R. Smith memes. With 4 seconds left on the clock, the Golden State Warriors and Cavaliers were tied at 107 to 107. Smith, who could have attempted a shot, failed to do so and sent the game into overtime. James was visibly upset with Smith's decision, and was seen gesturing at Smith, which later became a famous meme. After JR stopped short of going for the clutch shot, the game went into overtime, with the Warriors coming out on top 124 to 112. During a post-game interview, Smith revealed that he thought the Cavaliers were going to call a timeout, which is why he didn't attempt the game-winning shot. He also added that when he looked at James, he thought he was asking for a timeout. On the court, Smith reportedly told James that he believed they were ahead of the Warriors. However, he later revealed that he was aware of the score. Smith apparently assumed the timeout would be called, as no one would try to shoot over Kevin Durant, who had 4 blocks that game. Smith explained that if he thought their team was leading, he would have held onto the ball while letting the Warriors foul him. At number 6 is How Foul. Bubba Wells played just 1 year in the NBA, as a reserve for the Dallas Mavericks. In a tight December 1997 game against the Chicago Bulls, Mavericks coach Don Nelson tried out a unique strategy to limit the Bulls' points. Foul their star forward Dennis Rodman as often as possible because he was a terrible free throw shooter. A big part of that strategy was making Bubba Wells do as much of that fouling as possible, and boy, did he deliver. Wells fouled Rodman 6 times in just 3 minutes, per NBA rules that disqualified him from playing in the rest of the game. That's still an NBA record for fouling out. At number 5 is LVP. How valuable is the most valuable player if their team doesn't win the championship? Only 1 year, and the first year in which it was handed out, the Finals MVP award went to a player on the losing team. Jerry West led the Lakers to 3 wins in the 1969 NBA Finals, but the Boston Celtics won 4 and the title, despite West's MVP-level 38 points per game average. Still, his team lost. At number 4 is taking half. In a January 2014 regular season game, the Houston Rockets squared off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Houston thoroughly dominated the other team in the first half, outscoring them 73 to 59. That's a pretty comfortable lead, which the Rockets somehow blew with one of the worst second half scoring outputs of all time. After the break, Houston put up just 19 points, and the Thunder wound up easily winning the game, 104 to 92. At number 3 is No Man's Land. NBA teams carry a roster of 12 players, with 5 guys on the floor and 7 on the bench. In April 2010, injuries so depleted the Golden State Warriors that they were down to just 6 players for a game against the Portland Trail Blazers. In the first quarter, starting center Chris Hunter went down with a knee injury, meaning the Warriors had 5 players to play, meaning nobody could take a break for the entirety of the game. Later on, the Warriors' Devin George fouled out, but thanks to an obscure rule, he got to stay in the game because the Warriors wouldn't have had enough players without him. Despite the clear numbers advantage, the Warriors took this game to overtime, and they came out on top. At number 2, let's put on a shoe. This has to be the strangest defensive play in NBA history. In a December 2014 game between Golden State and Dallas, the Warriors' Maurice Spates lost his shoe, and when the Mavericks got possession, he had to head down to the other end of the court with 1 foot in a shoe and the other in a sock. His shoe sat on the court until the Warriors got the ball again. Spates' teammate Steph Curry swiped the shoe and tried to toss it back to its rightful owner, only for Mavericks center Tyson Chandler to swat it away. And at number 1, Amar'e Stoudemire fakes out Shane Battier. Amar'e Stoudemire did not have a pleasant NBA season this past year. Fans were aggravated by his injuries, his apparent lack of enthusiasm, and his lack of production. He helped contribute to what ended up being a wildly overhyped New York Knicks team that was shown the door by the eventual NBA champions, the Miami Heat, in the first round of the playoffs after only earning the 7th seed. He'll be remembered in the 2012 playoffs for taking out his own frustration on a fire extinguisher, slashing his hand wide open in a fairly gruesome injury. But this video sums up Stoudemire's season of disappointment. To be fair, Shane Battier totally flopped, and Stoudemire was fouled out of the game. Frustration in the heat of the moment made for a pretty hilarious video. Pun only slightly intended. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Top NBA, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. See you all next time.